We have Jarrett here lying down on the floor in the X position. His arms are like he's singing YMCA and his feet are wider than shoulder width. What he's going to do, he's going to focus on moving one vertebrae at a time, either from his pelvis up to his neck or from his neck up to his pelvis. But he's going to use the rest of his body to help him do that. So starting with the arms, he's going to pick up one arm and reach towards the opposite side. He's going to turn his neck and pretend like he's reaching for an object up high on the ceiling, and he's going to slowly lift his neck up, twisting only his upper back first and his neck as far as they can go, one vertebrae at a time. Once he's reached his maximum limit and he's tried to go as far as he can, he's going to take a deep breath in and start moving just his lower back. So his lower back's going to move. He's going to keep reaching. He's going to try to twist one vertebrae at a time, leaving his hip and his thigh on the floor. Once he gets to the end range of his lower back, he's going to try to move just his pelvis by twisting just his belt buckle, and he's going to try to leave his thigh down. You can see that he's struggling with this, but he's going to keep going, keep breathing, keep fighting against himself as he's reaching. His foot is the last thing to reach on the floor. Notice how he's arching his back a little bit. You'd want to try to resist that by keeping your rib cage and your pelvis together. So when he's on the floor here, he's going to reset. He did a full roll. He's going to now pick up his right arm and reach backwards again with the same concepts of twisting the neck first as hard as he can, moving the upper back next as far as it can, then the lower back, then the pelvis, then the thigh, then the foot. Big thing here becomes setup. So notice again how he has a slight arch. Before he goes every time, if he does a little brace, trying to keep his rib cage and hips in line, that'll help him fight the arching of his lower back and control the motion better to try to make the joints that are usually restricted move versus falling into a position that he's used to moving in. He's going to repeat the same process, but now with his legs. So there he moved his hands and he moved from neck to pelvis, but now he's going to move his legs and move from pelvis to neck. So you're going to pick up one leg, pushing his arms down on the floor hard, pushing his head down on the floor hard, not moving anything but his thigh up as high as he can, and then towards the side like he's reaching as far as he can. So he's going to reach towards his opposite side with his leg. Once he gets as far as he can, he's going to start moving just his belt buckle. So just his belt buckle is going to twist. He's going to keep reaching, pushing his arms and upper back down on the floor. He's going to keep pushing his hips as far as they can go, his lower back as far as it can go. And then once he gets to full range, slowly his rib cage starts moving. He needs to take deep breaths as he's doing this. He's going to now start moving his arms, pushing his hips down on the floor as far as they can go. His hand is the last thing to come off the floor. Nice. And similarly, coming back, this is usually hard for most people. Jarrett might need to adjust here, but what he's going to do is he's going to pick up his leg and try to reach the other way. So here the big thing is not getting into back extension, trying to push the hip down on the floor, picking up the leg using the glute. And he's going to pick up as high as he can, and then slowly just turn the pelvis while keeping his rib cage down on the floor, keeping his arms down on the floor, breathing, moving. And we'll just leave him here in this half position and ask him to keep his hands down, his head down, and bring his leg back down. So half rolling patterns are pretty useful too. You can do this to work sections. So in the first few, you saw that he moved his whole spine to get all the way to the other side. But here he only went halfway. So he moved his leg, then his pelvis, then his rib cage, but he didn't let his upper thoracic and cervical move. He kept it all planted with his legs and he came back down. So he worked bits of the system instead of trying to work the whole thing at once, which will help you master the skill and hone in on some of the joint control of specific ranges and specific regions versus trying to work all of it at once. Thanks, Jarrett.